Things have changed for the worse. There is what I consider a extremely negative and dark cloud over our facility, from workers to staff to family members. And it appears that the only effort to do anything would be one of the things he did prior to us coming to this meeting, when they put a press release out and tried to say that it was racial. They deflect. They're deflection experts. They know how to dangle something over here to get your mind off of where you're at.
The St. Louis VA home has no accountability or protocols in place to ensure that these vets are getting their basic needs and proper care. We don't need any more of Roletta Carter's words, daily grand rounds. We need someone who will implement protocols, requirements in a way to measure with accountabilities so that course correction can be implemented.
October 24th, I arrived and entered the dining room. I was approached and asked to leave the dining room and eat my lunch elsewhere because the resident council meeting was about to begin. The acting administrator told me that she was there to ensure that no visitors were present during that meeting. I told her that the administration has asked me to leave those meetings in the past, but at this time, I wanted them to show me some language, law, code, policy, a rule, whatever, that they were interpreting to deny me the right to represent my father as his POA. I told her that they had previously cited ridiculous examples like HIPAA, and I reminded her that I had a full POA, not a medical POA. The president of the resident council saw her talking to me and told her that I was not only invited to the meeting by him, but that the veterans had held a vote on the matter and agreed to allow family members and loved ones to be present in their meetings. So she stepped away from me. He told her not to remove me from the meeting or he would adjourn the meeting. In spite of that, the assistant administrator appeared at my table, Liza, and told me to go to Mr. Carter's office to get a copy of the language that was denying me access to that meeting. I did, and when he appeared, he discussed it with me, but he told me that he would not give me anything in writing. I told him that I was returning to the meeting then if he couldn't show me language that limited my POA under those circumstances. To make a longer story shorter, he asserted loudly in the hallway that he would call an officer to physically remove me from the dining room, which drew the attention of bystanders. After he stated that there was no written language, and he said, "I'm just telling you, you can't go in there," I told him that I considered that his suggestion. I went in and I sat down. I saw the officers arrive. There were 3 of them. The officers initially told me I was trespassing. I said, "I have a father who lives here. I'm his POA and I have the right to be here to visit him." Then he said I was being asked to leave the building for disturbing the peace. I agreed to leave rather than have them arrest me. And as I was leaving, the officer said, "And if you return, they can have you arrested." A corporal at the station told me that the only information he found related to the incident was that the administrator, quote, "the administrator had an argument with a visitor and wanted her removed," unquote. He advised me not to return, the corporal advised me not to return without the permission of the administrator's supervisor. And it was Thursday evening when I was given permission by a member of the Veterans Commission through Senator Gina Walsh. And I was welcomed back into the building to see my father.
We arrived at the ER. My dad was dehydrated, dirty with dried feces smeared on his butt, later finding a stage 2 bed sore near his rectum. It took the nursing staff using dozens of cloths to gently clean his buttocks and rectum area. Our dad was treated at Christian Northeast till August 7th when he suddenly died. His life was shortened from what we believe with inadequate care at the St. Louis Veterans Home. I filed a neglect complaint with the State of Missouri Adult and Abuse Neglect Hotline, only to find out a week later that Patty Faniger, who is the assistant to Kim Packer on the Veterans Commission, oversees this veterans home. I expressed my concern of a biased investigation and asked why would they be able to investigate the operation that they are in charge of. This must be changed, and to allow complaint investigations for any Missouri veterans home to be conducted by a non-biased outside source such as the Department of Public Safety or the Attorney General's office. These conditions are beyond minor complaints. Families must beg for basic care.
This is a sad situation that I have to go through it, which is unnecessary. We should be able to get more care and loving between one another.